The light glints off the surface, catching your eye. A familiar object, yet one you've avoided. It's a mirror, but not just any mirror. This one doesn't just show your face. It reflects the elaborate edifice you've built around yourself, a structure designed meticulously for the approval of others. You see the tired lines around your eyes, the forced smile. This isn't the face of ambition. It's the face of someone pretending, someone perpetually on stage. Beneath this performance, a deep fatigue has settled in, a psychic exhaustion. The pressure to maintain this image, this curated version of yourself for the world, has become a crushing weight. Your internal clock, the one that tells you when to act, when to speak, when to fade away, is broken. You're out of sync with your own being, driven by an external rhythm that demands constant adaptation. This isn't a new struggle. It's an ancient burden, passed down through generations like a whispered secret. You look into the mirror, and it's not just your reflection you see, but the echoes of others who have worn similar masks, who have sought solace in the fleeting approval of the crowd. The veneer starts to crack, revealing the raw, unvarnished landscape beneath. So, what lies beyond this fraying facade? What is the true cost of this lifelong performance? This is where our journey begins, by observing the hairline fractures in our carefully constructed selves. What happens when the act of seeking validation leads not to belonging, but to an existential hollowness? We'll explore the deep-seated pain that drives this relentless pursuit of external affirmation. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this. Now let's keep going. You catch sight of yourself, and for a fleeting moment, the mask slips. It's like seeing a stranger wearing your face, one you barely recognize. This person, the one the world seems to applaud, feels distant, almost alien. You realize with a jolt that the reflection isn't you, not truly. It's a meticulously crafted persona, a beautiful illusion built to earn affection. This persona, your carefully constructed self, is the key. It's the face you present to the world, polished and refined, designed to elicit nods of approval. But every polished surface, every perfectly delivered line, also serves to obscure something else, something vital. You've spent years perfecting this act, honing the skills of performance with an almost religious devotion. Each success, each fleeting moment of external validation reinforces the belief that this is who you must be. But the effort is immense, a constant drain on your inner resources. The weight of maintaining this illusion is far heavier than any applause. This performance, born from a desperate need to belong, is not about ambition. It's a deep-seated identity wound. The timing of your actions, the way you present yourself, it's all dictated by the perceived needs of others. You've become a prisoner to this external gaze, your own inner compass silenced. The mirror shows you the cost. The cracks are appearing, not in the glass, but in the very foundation of your being. The carefully constructed image is beginning to fade, revealing the emptiness it has concealed. But what echoes lie beneath this facade? We now must turn to the unspoken discomfort, the nameless ache that drives this relentless need for approval. There's a hollow space somewhere inside, a void that no amount of praise or recognition can truly fill. It's a perpetual state of yearning, a subtle dissonance that hums beneath the surface of your days. You've tried to locate its source, to give it a name, but it eludes you like smoke slipping through your fingers. This ache isn't a sudden onset. It's older than your memories, a persistent whisper from your earliest days. It's the phantom limb of unmet needs, the shadow of a love that felt conditional, a belonging that was earned rather than given. It manifests as a gnawing dissatisfaction, a feeling that no matter how much you achieve, it's never quite enough. You fill this void with external validation, with the fleeting warmth of applause, with the reassuring nod from another. Each instance is like a temporary salve, a brief respite from the gnawing emptiness, but the relief never lasts, and soon the ache returns, stronger, more insistent. This constant seeking outside yourself is a deflection, a desperate attempt to avoid confronting the cavern within. It's easier to chase the reflection in the mirror, to bask in the temporary glow of approval than to face the silence of your own being. The systems that govern our lives, from the relentless march of time to the societal structures that define our roles, often seem designed to keep us from confronting this internal landscape. We are encouraged to look outward, to achieve, to acquire, to perform, all in service of distracting us from the unnamed ache. Yet, this primal yearning persists. What is this nameless pain, and why does it hold such sway over our lives, driving us ceaselessly toward the perception of others? The next section will begin to untangle how we construct our public faces, the very masks we wear to navigate this world. You've perfected the art of the persona, a masterful creation designed to fit seamlessly into the expectations of your world. It's your public face, your curated performance, the self you've meticulously crafted to earn a place, to belong. This persona is not just a habit, it's a profound survival mechanism. Think of it as a beautiful prison. Its walls are adorned with the accolades and affirmations you've collected, each one a testament to your perceived worth. But these very decorations also serve to confine you, to limit your movement, to keep you safely within the designated boundaries. Jung spoke of the persona as the mask we wear in public, a necessary adaptation to the demands of society. But when we over-identify with this mask, when it becomes indistinguishable from our true selves, we enter a state of psychic imprisonment. The persona meant to protect becomes the cage. Each interaction becomes a performance, each relationship a stage. You monitor your words, your gestures, your very thoughts, ensuring they align with the image you present. The effort is relentless, a constant energy expenditure to maintain the illusion, to keep the bars of the prison from rusting. This constant upkeep is a heavy burden. The energy you pour into maintaining this beautiful prison prevents you from exploring the vast territories within your own psyche. You become so focused on the outward appearance, on the approval it garners, that the self it's meant to serve begins to wither. The persona, while offering a sense of security, is ultimately a betrayal of the authentic self. It's a gilded cage, offering comfort but denying freedom. What happens when the desire for belonging binds us so tightly that we lose touch with the self that yearns for genuine connection? We'll explore the deceptive nature of public acclaim in the next revelation. The roaring sound washes over you, a wave of pure validation. Applause. It's the pinnacle, the moment you've strived for, a testament to your worth, a fleeting balm for the unseen wound. But listen closely. Beneath the thunderous noise, there's a silence, a profound emptiness that the sound tries desperately to drown out. This applause, this external affirmation, is a powerful, yet ultimately hollow distraction. It's a temporary anesthetic, numbing the deeper pain, the existential dread that lies just beyond the reach of the spotlight. You mistake the echo of approval for the resonance of your soul. When you're caught in the cycle of seeking validation, every success feels like a life raft, but it's always on a sinking ship. The applause is a brief pause in the relentless struggle, a moment where the effort seems to pay off, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem. It merely postpones the inevitable confrontation with what lies beneath. The abyss is not a place of external danger, it is the vast, unacknowledged inner landscape of the self. It's the realm of unmet needs, of unexpressed emotions, of the parts of yourself you've exiled in your pursuit of belonging. The applause is a loud, insistent siren song, pulling you away from this inward exploration. This outward-focused pursuit hijacks your soul's energy. Instead of tending to the garden within, you're busy cultivating applause. The pursuit of external validation becomes a religion, with each successful performance a ritual offering, a prayer to keep the abyss at bay. But the abyss is always there, waiting patiently. The applause, while momentarily comforting, is fundamentally a distraction from the deeper work of self-discovery. What happens when the noise fades and you are left alone with the vast, unaddressed silence? This leads us to consider the proliferation of these masked selves. You look into the mirror, and it's no longer a single reflection staring back. The first crack has caused a fracture, and now the image is fragmented, multiplied into countless mirrored surfaces. Each shard reflects a slightly different version of you, a variation on the theme of performance, each one demanding its own brand of validation. This multiplication of mirrors is the insidious consequence of living through a persona. In trying to be acceptable to everyone, you become a chameleon, adapting your image to suit each new audience. Each interaction, each social setting, demands a slightly altered version of the mask. You are no longer just one person behind a mask, but a multitude of masked selves, each one a curated response to external expectations. The original self, the one who initiated this act of performance, has become lost in the labyrinth of reflections. The effort to manage all these fractured images is exhausting. Nietzsche warned of the herd mentality, the danger of conforming to collective norms. When we splinter ourselves into countless reflections, we are catering to the many-headed beast of public opinion, a beast that can never be truly satisfied. Each mirror reflects the desire to belong, but these desires are often contradictory, pulling you in different directions. This fragmentation means that no single reflection can ever offer true solace or recognition. Each demands something different, and you're constantly juggling these competing needs. The energy that could be used for genuine self-exploration is instead diverted into the endless maintenance of these fractured images. The more mirrors there are, the harder it is to find your true self. Each reflection is a step further away from authenticity, a deeper descent into the performance. The original problem, the unnamed ache, only grows larger as it is reflected and refracted through these countless illusions. Where does this relentless adaptation lead us? We'll examine one of its most powerful influences next. You see them all around you, moving in unison, their actions dictated by an unspoken code. This is the herd, the collective of individuals bound by shared beliefs and expectations. To stand out is to risk ostracism, to be the dissonant note in a chorus of conformity. Nietzsche understood this deeply. He saw how morality, often presented as an absolute truth, can become a tool for the herd's survival, a way to maintain order and suppress individuality. To be virtuous is often to be palatable, to blend in, to adhere to the expected moral pronouncements. Your persona in this context is not just about personal approval, but about fitting into the moral fabric of the herd. You adopt the accepted virtues, the approved opinions, the comfortable platitudes, all to avoid the social death of being different. The mask you wear is woven with the threads of conventional morality. This is where the performance truly deepens. It's not just about appearing successful or likable, but about appearing morally upright. The fear of being judged as wrong, as deviant, as an outcast, drives you to adopt a moral mask that may not align with your inner truth. The exhaustion comes not just from maintaining an image, but from constantly policing your thoughts and actions to ensure they conform to the herd's moral compass. This self-censorship stifles your authentic voice, muting the whispers of your soul in favor of the loud pronouncements of groupthink. The beauty of the persona, its perceived safety, is that it aligns you with the collective. But this alignment comes at the cost of your individual integrity. You become a reflection of the herd's morality, and in doing so, you lose sight of your own inner compass. What is the origin of this deep-seated need to conform? We'll travel further back to uncover its roots. You believe this need for approval is a recent struggle, born perhaps from a specific childhood experience or a professional setback. But the truth is far more ancient, woven into the very fabric of your being, predating your personal history. This is an ancestral echo. The drive to belong, to be accepted by the group, is a primal instinct hardwired into our DNA. For millennia, survival depended on the collective. To be cast out was often a death sentence. This deep-seated fear of exclusion has been passed down through generations, shaping our very psychology. The approval wound is not just yours. It's a collective inheritance. It's the scar tissue left behind by countless ancestors who lived and died by the rules of their tribes, whose worth was measured by their contribution to the group's survival. This ancestral memory manifests in your modern-day anxieties. When you seek approval, you're not just seeking validation for your current self, but tapping into this ancient imperative for belonging. The pressure to conform, the fear of judgment, these are echoes of a time when social cohesion was paramount. You are, in a sense, reenacting an ancient drama. This ancestral imprint explains the intensity of your need, the profound emotional weight attached to external validation. It's not simply a matter of ego, it's a response to a deeply ingrained survival mechanism. The persona you wear is a modern adaptation of an ancient strategy for group inclusion. The burden of this inherited wound is heavy. It explains why the approval you seek often feels like an antidote to a pain that extends far beyond your personal experience. It's a wound that has been carried through time, and its echoes resonate within you. But what happens when this fundamental need begins to warp and twist into something darker? We will explore this in the following section. Beneath the polished surface of your persona, something stirs. It's the shadow, the untamed, unacknowledged parts of yourself that you've carefully suppressed. These are the instincts, the urges, the emotions that don't fit the carefully constructed image you present to the world. They fester in the darkness, waiting. Jung described the shadow as the repository of all that we repress, all that we deem unacceptable about ourselves. It's the primal wildness, the uncultivated aspects of our psyche that we exhale in our pursuit of civilized conformity. This shadow is not inherently evil, but it is unintegrated and therefore potentially destructive. When you dedicate all your energy to maintaining the persona, you push more and more of your authentic self into the shadow. This creates a psychic imbalance. The more you deny these parts of yourself, the more powerful they become in their exile. They watch from the periphery, unhealed, unforgiven. This banished self craves acknowledgement. It whispers doubts, stirs insecurities, and manifests as projection, where you see your own unacknowledged traits in others. The more you try to outrun your shadow, the faster it seems to pursue you, its presence felt as an inexplicable unease or a sudden flare of anger. The persona, in its attempt to present a perfect self, inadvertently fuels the growth of its opposite. The repression of the shadow creates a tension, a spiritual pressure that builds within. This unaddressed darkness contributes to the unnamed ache, the sense of incompleteness that no external validation can assuage. The shadow is a vital part of the whole, a necessary counterpoint to the persona. To deny it is to deny a fundamental aspect of your being. What are the consequences of keeping this vital part of yourself in perpetual darkness? This leads us directly to the paradoxical nature of true belonging. You've chased belonging as if it were the ultimate prize, the validation that would finally silence the internal ache. Yet, the group you desperately seek to join often demands a subtle, insidious betrayal for entry. It asks you to betray yourself. To truly belong, to be accepted by the collective, you often have to disavow parts of yourself. The shadow, the authentic expressions, the unique perspectives that don't align with the group's norms must be suppressed. This act of self-betrayal is the hidden price of admission. You might sacrifice an inconvenient truth for the sake of harmony, or mute a unique talent to avoid envy. Each concession chips away at your inner integrity, leaving you feeling hollowed out, even as you feel the warmth of group acceptance. The belonging you achieve is built on a foundation of self-denial. This is a paradox. The very act of seeking belonging can lead to a profound sense of isolation, as you are increasingly separated from your own true self. The more you conform, the less authentically you exist, and the deeper the chasm between your outward belonging and your inner alienation. Consider the systems that define social groups, the unspoken rules, the shared language, the collective judgments. To navigate these systems requires a careful calibration of your persona, a constant negotiation between who you are and who you must appear to be. This negotiation is a slow erosion of the self. You are not truly seen, for you are not showing your true face. You are not truly connected, for the connection is with the mask, not the person within. The belonging you've finally achieved feels like a gilded cage, a hollow victory. What is the constant effort required to maintain this deceptive appeasement? We'll explore this in detail. The upkeep of your persona has become a sacred duty, a devotional practice performed with unwavering diligence. It's a religion of exhaustion, where every action, every thought, is an offering at the altar of external approval. The energy required for this constant maintenance is immense. Think of it as a spiritual practice, but one that drains rather than replenishes. You meticulously polish the mask, ensure every strap is secure, every imperfection buffed away. Each successful interaction, each moment of acceptance, is a confirmation of your devotion. This isn't merely about looking good. It's about survival, about avoiding the perceived catastrophe of rejection. You've internalized the demands of the world and made them your own, an internal taskmaster that never sleeps. The need for constant vigilance is the hallmark of this exhausting devotion. The rituals are many. Careful self-presentation, strategic conversation, the suppression of inconvenient emotions. Each day is a performance, a continuation of the sacred duty. You sacrifice time, energy, and ultimately, your own well-being at the altar of this demanding faith. This relentless maintenance leaves little room for genuine rest or self-reflection. The energy that could be used for healing, for growth, for creative expression is consumed by the endless task of keeping the mask intact. It's a cycle of exertion with no true release. The exhaustion is the symptom of a soul engaged in a losing battle. You are expending all your vital force on preserving an illusion, a structure that cannot truly nourish you. But what lies beneath this carefully maintained facade? When the rituals are complete and the day falls silent, we will soon find out. When the day's performances conclude, when the masks are set aside and the noise of external validation fades, you are left with a profound silence. This isn't a peaceful quiet, it's a loaded silence, a heavy stillness that carries the weight of all that has been unsaid, unseen, and unfelt. Beneath the persona lies a vast expanse of unexpressed being. It's the realm of your true feelings, your authentic desires, your quiet intuitions that have been systematically ignored or suppressed in favor of the external performance. This silence is not empty, but full of unspoken truths. This deliberate silencing of your inner voice is the price paid for the ease of conformity. You learn that speaking your truth, expressing your authentic self, could disrupt the fragile peace of external acceptance. So you chose silence, a protective measure that has become a form of self-exile. The persona is a barrier, a veil drawn between you and the world, but also between you and yourself. The silence it creates is the echo of that barrier, the sound of your own being receding into the background. There is a mournful quality to this quiet, a sense of something vital being lost. This cultivated silence is a form of psychic imprisonment. You are shut off from your own inner landscape, unable to hear the whispers of your soul. The absence of external validation doesn't bring peace, but a deeper sense of isolation, a chilling disconnect from yourself. The silence beneath the persona is not an end, but a beginning. It is the space where the true self resides, waiting to be heard. This profound quiet holds the echoes of what has been lost, and it is here that true healing can begin. What is this wounded inner feminine that mourns within this silence? We will explore this next. Within the profound silence left by the persona, a subtle sorrow whispers. It is the echo of the anima, the repressed feminine soul force within the masculine psyche, or equivalently, the wounded aspect of the heart and intuition in any individual. This energy, denied its expression, mourns its own exile. The anima represents our capacity for feeling, for intuition, for connection, for the deep, irrational wisdom of the soul. When the persona dominates, when logic and external approval become paramount, this vital aspect of ourselves is relegated to the shadows. It becomes the unacknowledged mourner. This mourning is not a loud lament, but a quiet, persistent ache felt as a loss of creative impulse, a difficulty in deep emotional connection, or a pervasive sense of melancholy. It's the feeling that something essential is missing, a crucial dimension of experience that remains just out of reach. The persona, in its rigid insistence on control and rational outward presentation, actively suppresses the fluid, intuitive nature of the anima. The mask is a denial of this inner wildness, this capacity for deep empathy and emotional vulnerability. The exiling of the anima is a core component of the approval wound. When the anima is unheard, unacknowledged, her sorrow permeates your being. It influences your relationships, your creative endeavors, and your overall sense of wholeness. The longing for connection, for depth, for a meaningful engagement with life is her silent, persistent plea. This mourning is a critical signpost. It indicates that a vital part of your psychic architecture has been neglected. The suppression of the anima, like the denial of the shadow, creates an imbalance that fuels the very pain you seek to escape. But what is the ultimate cost of this deep-seated self-denial? We approach a stark realization. The carefully constructed self, the persona you adopted to earn affection, has become a suffocating burden. The sacrifices made, the authentic parts of yourself you've buried, are now actively working against your own life force. The cost of this adopted identity is proving fatal to your authentic being. The you that emerged through the process of seeking external validation is not the true you. It's a collection of borrowed traits, of adapted behaviors, of silenced instincts, all designed for the approval of others. This adopted identity, while a survival mechanism, is ultimately a hollow shell. Every moment spent maintaining this false self is a moment diverted from living your actual life. The energy you pour into the performance is energy that cannot be used for genuine growth, for authentic connection, for the exploration of your own vital essence. It is a slow, insidious form of self-annihilation. You are not living, you are enacting. You are not connecting, you are presenting. The love you receive, if it is for this adopted self, is not for you, but for the mask. This creates a perpetual sense of unease, a deep-seated feeling of being unseen, of being fundamentally alone, even in company. This realization is often met with resistance. It's terrifying to confront the possibility that the very foundation of your identity, the self you've painstakingly built, is the source of your suffering. Yet, this confrontation is essential for liberation. The continued adherence to this borrowed identity is a slow erosion of your soul. The persona, once a shield, has become a tomb. The life force that sought admission into the world is now trapped, suffocating beneath the weight of pretense. What remains when this adopted identity finally collapses? We must now listen to the subtle resonances of the self that was always there. Amidst the wreckage of the persona, a faint but persistent echo begins to emerge. It's the resonance of the unperformed self, the quiet hum of the being you were before the relentless pressure to conform. This is not a voice demanding attention, but a gentle summoning, a nostalgic whisper of your original essence. This echo is the memory of a time before the masks, before the performance, before the deep-seated fear of judgment dictated your every move. It's the faint imprint of your innate inclinations, your natural curiosities, your untamed spirit that has been carefully suppressed for so long. It doesn't roar with protest, it simply exists, a subtle counter-frequency to the overwhelming noise of external demands. It's the quiet knowing that precedes the need for approval, the inherent worth that needs no external validation. This echo is the soul's quiet insistence on its own reality. Recognizing this echo is not about fixing the persona, but about acknowledging its ultimate inadequacy. It's about understanding that the efforts to be loved for who you became are, in fact, a slow dying of who you truly were. The unperformed self, though silenced, was never truly destroyed. This echo is a reminder of your original blueprint, a subtle invitation to reconnect with the source of your innate vitality. It's the first hint of authentic being, a promise of a self that is not crafted for others, but for itself. It speaks of a belonging found not in acceptance, but in self-recognition. When you begin to listen to this quiet echo, the foundations of your performance start to crumble. The urgency of the persona diminishes, replaced by a growing curiosity about the being that lies beneath. This leads us to the final threshold, the entrance to a different kind of belonging. The journey through the fragmented mirrors, the performance, and the pain has led you not to a grand stage, but to a quiet threshold, a gate that offers passage without the need for applause. This is the gate of the unperformed self, a passage that demands nothing external for entry, only an internal readiness. Here, the striving ceases, the constant need to prove your worth, to earn a place, dissolves. This gate does not require you to be someone you are not, nor does it demand that you discard parts of yourself. It is an invitation to enter simply as you are. The silence here is different. It is not the loaded silence of suppression, but the expansive silence of presence. It is the quiet hum of being, the deep resonance of your fundamental self, unburdened by the need for external affirmation. There is no audience, only awareness. This is the deepest form of belonging, not to a group or an ideology, but to yourself. It is the realization that your inherent worth does not fluctuate with the tides of external opinion. It is the quiet understanding that you are enough, simply by existing. The gate does not offer answers, but a release from the questions imposed by the outside world. It doesn't promise solutions, but the possibility of living with an unshakable inner center. The praise you once craved is irrelevant here, for the true reward is self-acceptance. Standing before this gate, you understand that the deepest exile was from yourself. To pass through is to end that exile, to embrace the totality of your being, shadows and all. It is to step into a realm where belonging is not earned, but inherent. Now that concludes this video. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.